Tonight on Connecticut's news station, Friday night storm.
Bring it, Mother Nature. We are ready for you.
Connecticut prepares for this week's second winter storm near the end of a very warm season.
A weather watch alert for a wintry mess of snow, sleet, even rain for parts of the state. The timeline and impacts coming up.
Also, a Connecticut man convicted of murder more than 4 years later. We'll have the details from court.
Dramatic video tonight. A police chase ends with a car crashing into a building and knocking it down.
Cancer scare for President Biden. We'll tell you about his procedure to remove skin cancer last month.
And a smaller catch. We're looking at the issues facing the lobster industry after a down year off the New England coast.
Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, begins with a weather watch alert.
We are tracking a wintry mix across Connecticut tonight. Here's a live look at the radar from the Weather Watch Center. This winter storm is expected to linger into tomorrow morning, creating an icy mess to start your weekend. Good evening. I'm Jen Bernstein.
And I'm Ben Goldman. Thanks for joining us here tonight at 10. It's been a relatively warm and quiet winter so far, but this is now the second storm we've tracked for you this week alone. And we have live team coverage for you tonight on the storm to get you ready for the weekend. Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner live in New Hartford, checking out conditions in the Litchfield Hills. But first, we go right to Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank timing this wintry mix out. Rachel?
Yeah, we keep calling it a wintry mix. It's not just snow, but even at this moment, there is snow, sleet, and rain falling across our state, depending on where you look. We are also anticipating gusty winds, and we will all make a transition over to rain as we head towards daybreak. So this is just kind of a slop fest of a storm. We get a coating of snow, some sleet on top of that, and some rain on top of that. The biggest impact is really going to be for slippery roads now through the overnight and for some into Saturday morning. Although for most, by the time the sun comes up, we're just talking about wet roads. There could be slippery spots in the hills and also some minor to moderate coastal flooding that will peak as we head towards daybreak tomorrow as well. So a coating to an inch or two of snow is possible for the northern half of the state, maybe more for parts of northwestern Hartford County and northern Litchfield County, where there could be several inches of snow. And there is a winter weather advisory in effect for the northern half of Connecticut, just to warn people that yes, roads could be slippery, but 6+ inches of snow just over the border for our neighbors to the north, with a winter storm watch that's in effect, or warning in effect. Dynamic storm. In fact, it looks like we are just getting some thunder snow here over the border for our neighbors in Massachusetts. A couple of lightning strikes showing up. Even though it looks like snow for a lot of the state, I've drawn a line in here for areas around Hartford, points south and west. We're seeing a mixture of rain and sleet and maybe some wet snowflakes mixing in as well. North and east of this line, it's mostly snow, but that will change with some sleet mixing in as we head through the overnight hours. Temperatures right now are above freezing for most of the state, although it's awfully close in Hartford, 31 with slippery conditions right now in Torrington. And as we head through the night, in more areas, we'll see that changeover from snow to sleet, then eventually rain. Again, by 7 a.m., most of the state is seeing temperatures above freezing with rain falling from the sky, but there will still be a few slippery spots in northern areas. And then after 8 a.m., just a lingering rain or scattered snow shower out there, but no additional accumulation expected. We'll take a look at the rest of your weekend forecast coming up.
Okay, thank you, Rachel. And because most of this winter has been warm, it's hard to blame anyone for not being as ready for the snow and ice as they usually are.
But just because we're now in the month of March, it doesn't mean it's quite yet time for spring to come. Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner joining us live all the way in New Hartford tonight to tell us how the Litchfield Hills are preparing for the second winter storm this week. DeAndrea.
You guys, have you ever heard the song My Girl by the Temptations? And they said, when it's cold outside, I got the month of May. That's not how I feel right now. You can see that it's sleeting and it's snowing. And if you just go a little bit past me, you can see that the roads are covered in snow right now. And just an hour ago, these roads were clear. It didn't look like this, but you guys wanted winter, and here winter is.
We'll be out there to handle anything that comes our way.
With the mild winter we've had in Connecticut, some businesses and hardware stores were already preparing for spring.
because of how nice the weather had gotten, we'd started putting away all of our winter items and bringing out fertilizer for the spring, grass seed. And then Tuesday happened.
But Mother Nature said not so fast, dumping snow across the state earlier this week and bringing in another round of wintry mix, including snow, sleet, and rain. This has many people, including Cheryl Harrington, fueling up for round 2.
I have this can where I'm getting gas from my 1962 Willis Jeep, with which I will plow my driveway.
She's hoping she doesn't have to pull out the classic car, but nevertheless, she's prepared.
I'm hopeful it's a little bit of snow and rain so I can go to New York. But if not, we got the Jeep.
And the Department of Transportation has their crews on standby. The DOT's storm season is October through April, so crews can't take out-of-state vacation, and they have to be nearby just in case the weather gets bad. So they have all hands on deck, and they say they're ready for what this storm may bring.
Our crews are working today to make sure they have all their trucks and equipment ready to go, and they'll be out, later on this evening into Saturday morning in some parts of the state.
And crews are already out. Just about 10 minutes ago, we did see some crews plow this road, and it is still a little bit slippery and covered with snow, but they are here all night and plowing the roads already. For now in New Hartford, DeAndrea Turner, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, DeAndrea, thank you so much for showing us what's going on outside. Be sure to download the free Fox 61 News app to get the latest forecast information along with live radar and traffic conditions all across Connecticut.
Moving on tonight, new at 10, a criminal case that has cross-country connections. A police officer arrested for rape in Washington state may be connected to an unrelated rape case back here in Connecticut. Authorities say 32-year-old Naimke Amachia was arrested this week for a reported rape that happened back in October. Investigators say DNA from a rape kit submitted to authorities matched his DNA from an unrelated rape case that happened back in 2016 in Waterbury. Amachia was fired from the police department he formerly worked at following his arrest. The department says that he's still in training at the time of his arrest.
New at 10, a jury convicted a Hartford man of murder more than 4 years later. Hartford State's attorney says John Bolton was found guilty in the killing of 29-year-old Carl Spence of Hartford. It happened in an apartment on Laurel Street in the city in January of 2019. Trial evidence says Bolton shot Spence during a fight. Bolton is expected to be sentenced in late April.
A woman's in the hospital tonight after a house fire on Finch Road. A neighbor called police at 11 a.m. after seeing smoke coming from the house in Wolcott. Wolcott's fire chief says that firefighters saw the damage immediately when they arrived on scene.
On arrival, when they arrived, there was heavy fire coming from the roof area and the sides and heavy smoke damage throughout the residence.
Took her to the hospital. There's no word about her condition tonight. Following new developments tonight in the death of a man in a trench at a construction site in Vernon.
The construction company's owner and employee are now charged with manslaughter. Fox 61's Matt Caron has the latest on this case in Vernon.
Both men walked into the Vernon Police Department without saying a word. Dennis Botticello, the owner of Botticello Incorporated, and his employee Glenn Locke both have been charged with first-degree manslaughter related to the death of construction worker Dennis Slater. These arrests coming today, but the original incident dating back to July of last year.
What's your message? Are you remorseful at all?
67-year-old Dennis Botticello walked in the front door of the Vernon Police Department.
You didn't use a trench box.
And snuck out through the back door after he and 65-year-old Glenn Locke posted bond.
It wasn't just an accident. This could have been prevented.
The pair is charged with first-degree manslaughter in the death of 56-year-old Dennis Slater, killed when the sides of a dirt trench collapsed on him at Laurel Woods Farms, and it wasn't the first time.
The trench did fall in a couple times before that.
A warrant shows Slater's text conversation with a friend asking how his day was. Not good, responded Slater. In a trench by myself today. Trench collapsed twice. And when questioned by police why proper safety measures weren't used, Locke responded, I guess we play the odds.
Unfortunately, the odds were not in Mr. Slater's favor that day.
The trench was about 120 feet long, 8 feet wide, and 8 feet deep. According to the federal investigators from OSHA, there were no indications that the sides of the trench had been sloped, benched, or any other trench safety measures had been instituted. That includes what is typically called a trench box, a metal insert meant to reinforce the dirt sides and keep it from collapsing.
This hole was nearly, quite long, and they failed to have any trench boxes. We're very careless in their actions, and somebody died as a result of this.
These arrests come after a lengthy investigation involving local, state, and federal officials, including OSHA. Both Botticello and Locke will appear before a judge on Monday, with the main difference between manslaughter and murder being intent. Reporting in Vernon, Matt Karen, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, thank you, Matt. Well, Central Connecticut State University's campus is mourning tonight after the death of a student on Sunday. The school community remembering 21-year-old Sarah Redmond with a moment of silence this morning. Sarah was from Burlington and a senior biochemistry major. She was found unconscious in her dorm and was later pronounced dead at the hospital. Students say even if they didn't know her, they want to pay their respects.
I witnessed that situation already with my friend that died earlier this year, and I know it's a sad situation, but for me, I can't really do nothing about it because you can't control death. You just gotta pray and move on.
Redmond's cause of death has not been released. CCSU has counselors available for students who want professional help working through this really tragic situation.
We have